Hi everyone. Now I am going to explaining you after declaration and array elements, then how to access one by one. Basically in Java, we can access an array element in two ways. The first one is by using indexing. By using indexing. So by using indexing, we can print our array elements one by one. The second one is what? By using by using looping control statement. Looping control statement. Looping control statement. And in looping, every time we are going to using for loop. And the next one is what? For each loop we are going to using. For each loop. So these two loops we are going to using to access or print our array element one by one. Let us see one example, you will get more clarity, right? Suppose guys, here I am taking one array element. Now, suppose I am taking a roll numbers. Roll numbers is nothing but my array variable name. And here I given few roll number like okay, 11 and 2, 22, 33, 44, 55. Okay, 66, 77. Like this, I given few elements. Listen carefully. No, roll numbers is nothing but our array variable name. And in that, we given, okay, similar type of data elements, right? So, guys, manually, we know what is the length of this an array. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 means, okay, roll numbers length is nothing but 7. Good. The next step is what I want to print these elements by using indexing one by one. So that what we will do, system dot out dot println, then use our variable name roll numbers of, if you want to print first value means 11 value, then use then use 0 index. Now it can return back, it can be print 11. Similarly, if you want to print 22, then system.out.println, then use our variable name, roll numbers of, then use 1. And it can be printed to the 22 value. Sir, I want to print 55 value. 55 value. Then system.out.println roll numbers. And tell me, my friends, our 55 index number is, the first one is 0, second one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, because our length is 7. So that if you want to print 55 value, and then here you can use the index number is 4. Then here I am giving 4. Now it can be printed 55 value. Suppose if you want to print last element, then system.out.println, then use our variable name, roll numbers of the last index number is 6. So like this, we are going to accessing our array element by using indexing concept. Indexing concept. Sir, same thing. So in index, small problem is there. Suppose today I given only 7 elements. Suppose tomorrow you have 100 elements. If you want to print 100 values, then 100 times we need to write our output statement. Sir, I don't want to write 100 statements. Simply, I want to write 2 to 3 lines code. Then you can access with our for loop. Then use it. Okay, accessing, okay, array elements with the for loop, right? So same thing I will show you programmatically, you will get more clarity, sir. Now what I am doing, if you do this one, simply I am going with our Eclipse ID, same. Here I am going to taking one more class, simply src, right click on it, go to the new and take the class, okay, accessing, accessing, okay, array elements, elements, like this you can take it. Now our class is ready. Our class is ready. Okay, here I given that code. Which one we given? Simply I am copying this piece of code, sir, which one I declare here. Okay, simply you can use it. So here we are getting the error syswo. Now this is what accessing with indexing. Save our application, right click on it, and run as Java application. Now what happens, sir? So these are the accessing with indexing concept. The next one, how we can access with for loop. So here I am going to showing you first. So for that, what you will, sir, just you can write for, and here index start with the 0. So int I is equal to 0 I given. How many elements we have? To know how many elements, here we need to use the length so that I less than or equal to, and use our array variable name. Okay, what is the variable name? Roll numbers. Roll numbers dot and le length method you can use. So length minus one. Okay, already I given less than or equal. So better to use what happens here. Okay, less than, and here you can use length minus one. Then simply you can increment your index value. Okay, index value. Then here we can write system dot out out print L. Simply you can use roll numbers, roll numbers, roll numbers of I you can repeat. So this for loop, okay, it can iterate your all elements one by one in sequence order. It can print first 11, then it can print first 11, and next print 20, next print that. How it can take, sir? Actually, I is nothing but indexing. And I less than our roll number start length minus one. What are the lengths are? 7 minus 1 means it can take up to 6 values. First, it can take indexing roll number of I. Roll number of I means 0. 0 means what? In 0th index, 11 value is printed. The next, okay, I value can be incremented. Means I is equal to this time 1. This time 1. Then roll number of 1. In 1th position, 22 is there. Again, I value can increment it like 2. Then roll number of 2. Then 33. Like this, it can check up to, okay, roll number of 6th. Finally, it can print how many values are? 70. Up to 7 values can be printed. So, same thing we'll see here. Okay. And syswo, okay, accessing with for loop. Accessing with for loop. Now, what I'm doing simply for, okay, int I is equal to 0 and I less than. Our variable name is roll numbers dot. Simply you can use 11 and I plus this. Simply we are going to increasing the index. Okay, then roll numbers of I you can print. So instead of writing multiple output statement, we are going to iterating, we are going to printing all array element by using for loop like this. Okay, now we can save it. Again, run your code. Run your code. So observe carefully our output. Okay, these are all our elements, values printed with indexing. These all are we are going to print it with for loop. Similarly, we can print with for each also. For each also. For each is a simplified loop, sir, compare with our for loop. So how to use? Then simply here I am writing, okay, okay, accessing with for each loop. For each loop. Okay. Then how to write for each? Simply you can write for loop and observe one thing. Here all the elements are integer type. So I am going to taking okay int variable like this x I taken. X value can take from our collection. Which collection? Roll numbers collection. And simply we are going to printing the X value. So how it can be print? Our doubt. Please understand, roll numbers is nothing but a array collection. It is having a more than one value. And this value travels one by one to X, it can be print in sequence order. From roll numbers, it can traverse 11 value provided to 11 x. First 11 will be printed. Later it can be traversed to 22. Again 22 can be printed. Again 33. Like this, it can iterate one by one and print all the values. That's it, my friends. Okay, simply, okay, we printed our array element by using indexing and by using for loop and by using for each loop also. Just you can see again your output, right? And here our output is what? The first here the first values we printed with indexing. Second time we accessing with for loop, and third time we are going to accessing with for each loop. That's it. Thank you. So same way you can practice it yourself also.